This is Larry Frank coming to you live from our Frankly Speaking Sports Studio in Hopkinsville, Kentucky. We are coming to you on NGSC Sports, Tobacco Road Sports Radio, and all social media platforms. You know, folks, I got to start off by saying I'm a New York Knicks fan now, 59 years. That's right. I was back in the days of Dave DeBusschere, Walt Frazier, Earl Monroe, Willis Reed, Bob McAdoo, Bernard King. And I got to tell you, the other day, I heard probably one of the stupidest comments I ever heard, the dumbest comments I ever heard, the most ludicrous comment I ever heard when Stephen A. Smith said that Tyrese Haliburton is not a superstar and that Jalen Brunson is. All I can say is, Stephen A., what are you smoking, baby? How can you make a comment that ridiculous? How can you say Tyrese is not a superstar? Let's look at this, okay? So far during the playoffs, he's averaging 19.4 points a game, 5.9 rebounds, and 9.8 assists. And I got to tell you something. There's a big difference between Jalen Brunson and Tyrese Haliburton. And this is the difference. Brunson is a scorer. He's a point scorer. That's all he can do. Yeah, he can be a playmaker too, but when it comes to the other side of the basketball, he's terrible. He's terrible. He plays no defense. You know, it's one thing to score points, but you have to keep the other team from scoring points as well, and he doesn't do that well. And we're going to break that down for you in a minute. Meanwhile, Tyrese Haliburton is a basketball player. Not only is he a playmaker, not only can he score points, but he can play defense as well. He can steal the ball. He can do rebounds. He can cause teams to make mistakes where Brunson does not do that. Now, I'm not going to say that, you know, Brunson's a bad player. I like Brunson. He scores a lot of points, and people like players that score a lot of points, but they forget that defense wins championships. And that's what's causing the New York Knicks right now to lose against the Indiana Pacers. Their transitional defense is terrible, way too many open shots that they're allowing the Indiana Pacers. But let's look at this. Game one, 31 points for Haliburton. He had 11 assists. Game two, he only had 14 points, but he had 8 rebounds, 11 assists, and helped the team win by playing terrific defense. Game three, 20 points. And then game four, the game of all ages, 32 points, 15 assists, 12 rebounds, and no turnovers. He's the first player in the history of the NBA to have 30 points, 15 assists, 10 rebounds, and no turnovers. That's right, the first one in history. And when you break this down even more, folks, first of all, when Brunson has played in playoff games, the Knicks are 22-20, 22 wins, 20 losses. That's not showing me a superstar mentality. That's showing me that when the big game is on the line, he's not there to play. You know, we always talk about big time players show up in big games, and he's not doing that right now. Sure, he's scoring points, but let's break this down a minute, okay? So far in this series, okay, the New York Knicks, when Brunson is on the court, they are minus 26 points. That means they average being down by 6 points a game when Brunson is on the court. Meanwhile, when Haliburton is on the court, the Pacers are plus 28 points, which means they are averaging plus 7 points per game when he's on the court. Big difference. One's losing by 6, one's winning by 7. Meanwhile, if you go ahead and look at Brunson during this series, okay? Let's break down, first of all, both players. If you go by points, Haliburton is averaging 24.3 points a game. 24.3 points a game. Meanwhile, Brunson is averaging 33.3 points a game. One big difference. Brunson's team is 1-3. Haliburton's team is 3-1. Then rebounds, 7 rebounds a game for Haliburton, only 2 for Brunson. 11 assists per game for Haliburton, only 5.5 assists for Brunson. 2.5 steals a game for Haliburton, not even one. Basically 0.8 per game for Brunson. Meanwhile, we talked about points, 1.5 turnovers per game for Haliburton, 4 turnovers for Brunson per game. And I wanted to show you something very interesting, okay? When you look at these games, you have it this way. First game of the series, he scored 43 points. 43 points Brunson scored. The Knicks lost. Game 2, he scored 36 points. Guess what? The Knicks lost. Meanwhile, in game 3, he only scored, and I say only for Brunson, 23 points. Guess what? The team won. Guess what else? It's the least amount of minutes he played in any of the 4 games. He only played 30 minutes. What is that telling you? The Knicks are playing better basketball when he is on the bench because they're playing team basketball rather than individual basketball. And then he scored 31 in game 4. Obviously, we all know they lost. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. For Stephen A. Smith to go ahead and say, I don't know what he was thinking, okay? Haliburton is showing up the big games. Brunson is not, okay? I don't care how many points you scored. There's been great point scorers that don't win in playoff games. You know, one of my favorite players of all time, Bernard King, used to be an unbelievable scorer, but he didn't win the championships. He didn't win the big games because he didn't really play in the big games. He played some, don't get me wrong, but at the end of the day, you can't just be a scorer and be considered a superstar. It's not right. I know Bernard King is in the Hall of Fame, and rightfully so. I mean, he did carry the New York Knicks during a lot of those stretches when he played, but, you know, Brunson is a scorer. I want to see a basketball player like Haliburton. I would rather have a Haliburton on my team than a Jalen Brunson because I need the entire package. And that's what Brunson doesn't offer that Haliburton does. Stephen A. Smith, like I said, I don't know what you were smoking, baby, but I just broke it down and showed you why Haliburton is a superstar, especially if you say Jalen Brunson is. This is Larry Frank, Frankly Speaking Sports.